Wonderful morning to everybody who are joined here for the discussion of today's market outlook. This is 11th of June 2026. The yesterday's behavior was a key one to understand. What it makes to observe from the behavior, what it is giving us a signal for the upcoming sessions, including today's one. For understanding better, we can now display the chart of NIFTY and will analyze based on the formations it has done and the behavior, what it is having currently and what it will be there for the upcoming sessions also may be seen through the way of discussing the NIFTY chart. We'll be sharing the NIFTY chart now. Kindly be on. This is what the candle formation we can see on the daily frame for the NIFTY. This particular candle can be now listened well, and you can observe the things what and all going to be as a forecast, as a prediction for the upcoming sessions, including today. Just notice the high it has made in yesterday's session. That was 23,425. After the 1 day of close below all the dates key ranges that was happened on 8th of June, the close happened between the 23,100 near. That was clearly below 23,150. And as per our concept, it has not able to sustain below the level and somewhat tried to bounce back and closed above the previous Wednesday's low point of 23,150. The close was clearly happened around 23,250. But when compared to these 2 days, 1 day was below the close of all key dates and another one was an attempt taken to attain the previous Wednesdays as well as the recent key dates low above. Because of that, the next day, that was yesterday, 10th of June, Wednesday, was also played a vital role in deciding the upcoming session's behavior. What it has witnessed in the chart means it has tried to approach the high point of previous Wednesday's one, that was 23,459. You just check the high, 23,425 was yesterday's one. But what happens finally? It could not sustain and it has attracted selling as usual with a sell on a rise approach. When we see the markets are NIFTY approaching any date's important range, either it may be a low of the particular date or high of the particular date. As per the behavior, when it was trying to approach the high of the previous Wednesday's one, that was the recent key date. We have taken into consideration the high around that previous Wednesday's zone was getting rejected and thoroughly swiped off all the gains it has maintained during the forenoon session. Finally, it has ended the session clearly below the important low. Anyhow, this particular date's high and low will be acting as the trend setter for the upcoming 2 sessions, including today. Which means, as we have mentioned in the report, we can consider this particular Wednesday's, that was 10th June's high, what made was observed as the interim top for the NIFTY. See, this particular day high was actually 23,425, which is only decided as the interim top here. So the top ones made means we can see that Nifty would be trying to come down further to observe demand-based buying volume until it is getting decisively breaking this Wednesday's or yesterday's high. One can see the downward drifting on the markets towards 23,000 and 22,900, even as mentioned in yesterday's session, 22,800 also can be seen. But that 22,800 and all not going to happen immediately. That may take a chance to attract buying around that zone. If not, the 22,800 within next few sessions one can expect on the Nifty. So the traders can clearly watch out the levels of yesterday's high and low. That was 23,425 as a high and 23,184 as the low, which is very short to the recent core support of 23,150. That should not be broken and that should not be getting sustained below to that 23,150 as a point for the first 15 minutes in today's session. If it happens as we predicted, one can see the downward attempts and all getting further strength and moving towards 23,000, and where it may somewhat halt or pause the actions on the downside. We'll try to observe volume. If the buying volume not found there means the breaking down of 23,000 also can be seen. So for that, the 23,070 as an interim day trading support for the day between 23,150 to 23,070 will be the decider of the trend for the day today. If this range gets broken, particularly in the first 15 minutes, if anything happens like this range break and all, we can see after breaking this 23,070 as a recent swing low, one can see the freeway probably getting paved off, and based on that, real path is going to created by the Nifty by the way of getting down. The next support can only seen around 23,000 to 22,900 only. The 23,000 also not an important support, but psychologically that may be a halting point for the Nifty. But the core support wise we want to say means 22,900 for the day. So that 23,900 if getting approached, one can think of reducing short positions because of the support is approached, and one can think of building the long positions even. But for that, if you want to see and build these long positions means after coming down towards 22,900 with the support of 22,800, the risky traders only can immediately start initiating the long. The safe traders, if you want to build the long means, you have to wait until the retracement happens and break about 23,070 as the immediate resistance point the Nifty has to break. After that breaking confirmation, one can get initiated about the long positions for the target of 23,150 as the first one, 23,250 as the next one. That's it. That are all the strategies one can follow. So we want to make you all aware how the yesterday's levels and are going to act like, because it has almost formed a top as an interim one. So that only we have described in this way. So yesterday's high and low should be keenly watched out, and the decisions on the trading side for the particular today's trade can be made based on the break of yesterday's high and low. Probability will be very high to break down. That means breaking the yesterday's low, not having a strength, and behaviorally it is not having any signals for the breaking of yesterday's high. That's it. we can now discuss about pre-market report. As we have discussed now, and we have clearly mentioned here, the interim top likely, which has almost done as the interim top. For a decisive directional move and all, it should clearly break out the high of yesterday or the low of the same. Where it gives the confirmation by the way of breaking, we can see the direction will be following on the same side. Currently, the behavior is suggesting that the lower break down can be seen on the Nifty before it try to break the high of yesterday's one. For the day, the opening trend can be expected in the way of muted one, aligning with the neutral tendencies across the major global indices. After opening only, we can see the movement and all getting actionable, and the price actions can be seen between the range of 23,150 and 23,070. This and all the deciding zone for the downward directional move, where it confirms by the way of breaking these levels of 23,150 and 23,070, where you can also get the confirmation or signal for the next support zones reaching of 22,900. Anyhow, the 23,000 as a psychological support may also be watched out. So this is what the trend one can expect. Anyhow, the volatility also will be there. For that, the first 15 minutes should be closely monitored. Once it confirms by the way of trading below and closing below, in particular, the level of yesterday's low, one can get the confirmation for the further downward trend. As mentioned for the targets and all, one can see the Nifty is moving downward. Those who want to build shorts, buy the put option and all, there you can initiate after getting the confirmation based on the levels we have provided. From the positional aspect, the consolidation, what it is giving through the way of range bound activities and all, with some pullbacks, which and all getting approached by the way of fresh selling or accumulated way of short buildups. There is no other way for the Nifty. It should surpass the recent resistance zones, like the important key dates, high, low, that and all already discussed many times. Then only we can see the reviving on the trend of Nifty for the positional traders. Until then, one can keep maintaining the sell on rise. Even the buy on dips also will be there, but the mostly buy on dips are not working around the important dates, low and high points. So it is better to focus on building the shorts as well as accumulating further if you already done. On the sectoral side, we can see importantly the bank, the rare story where we can see the bank Nifty has performed the day before yesterday about 2%, where the Nifty was not in that manner. Yesterday, the Nifty was somewhat giving the performance, giving the volatility, but the bank Nifty was not in that manner. This kind of action one can see very rare on the chart, and which indicates some hesitations on the follow-through actions. Either it may be on the buy side and sell side. Because of that, the bank and finance sector oriented stocks will also continue to be in higher focus today. Then the IT stocks can be focused as the next one. And energy, particularly oil makers, oil refiners, are in focus. Automobile, which has clearly signaled about the negative formation on the charts. Once yesterday's low for the Nifty as well as for the automobile oriented stocks gets broken, mean one can see the automobile oriented major large cap stocks and all drifting downward. Public sector enterprises as another one sector to be watched out. Telecom, along with the media also can be added, which attracts a huge selling for the recent days. On the stocks front, the day traders can focus the stocks like Oil India, Manappuram Finance, BHEL, Nestle India, Vascon Engineering, PBAP Automotive, Amber Enterprises. Follow solid stop loss across your transactions, either it may be a short or a long based one. Do not forget to apply stop loss strategies. So that's it from today's market outlook for the day. Yesterday, while trying to chase the market because of the huge volatility, we also faced some difficulties in maintaining the performance. But in the way, what it has observed through the way of behaving in a volatile manner, the market has given a signal that the formation of the top almost occurred. So because of that only, we have clearly stated on the report, stated during the discussion today, and we all request you make the note of the discussion we have made, and the top, what it has been denoting a kind of top will be acting as a very crucial trend decider for the next few sessions. Don't forget to keep watching and act accordingly based on the strategies and levels we have discussed. Thank you for participating in today's session. We'll be meeting again the final session for the week in tomorrow's one. We wish everyone to have an opportunistic day today. Thank you. Bye-bye. Yeah, thank you so much, sir, for your wishes. Thanks a lot. Thanks you. Thank you so much.